And yet, as Peter lies, bleeding in the rain, another thought begins to take hold. You're telling me this is how it ends? His fingers scrape weakly against the wet ground. Pain surges through his body. Anger begins to rise. How dare they treat me like this? After 50 years of loyalty, after sacrificing everything, this is how they repay him. Peter grits his teeth. He refuses to die like this, anything but that. But then another thought crosses his mind. The money. 7,600,000,000 won. The payment that was meant to be his. And as his thoughts drift, a memory suddenly appears. A girl, tears running down her face, someone holding her back as she cries. The image flashes through his mind, and for the first time, tears run down Peter's face as well. Then his strength finally gives out. His body goes limp, and Peter passes out in the rain. The camera pulls back, leaving the legendary assassin lying motionless in the storm. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, Octoman's men gather inside their hideout. Bright lights fill the room. The atmosphere is relaxed, almost casual. Two henchmen stand in the kitchen cooking, complaining about the mission. They slam their utensils down in frustration. They were so close. If they had killed Peter tonight, they would already be rich. $7.6 million. Enough to change their lives forever. One of them scoffs. It's ridiculous they're offering that much money just to kill some old geezer. Sure, Peter might have been a legend once, but in the end, money makes everyone the same. The other man nods while stirring the pot of stew. He says he even threw away his kickboxing career to become an assassin. But once he collects that bounty, everything will change. He'll turn his life around. Maybe he'll even cook Peter in the same pot they're using now. The two men laugh, completely unaware of what's about to happen. Because suddenly, a shadow appears in the doorway. One of the men freezes. Who the hell? Both of them turn, and their expressions change instantly. Standing in front of them is Peter. But something is wrong. This isn't the frail old man they fought earlier. This Peter looks young, strong. The wound in his stomach is still there, but his body has recovered. The henchmen stare in disbelief. At first they think it's someone wearing the same clothes, but the presence in front of them says otherwise. Peter looks around calmly. Even he seems unsure what happened. He simply woke up like this. But the henchmen quickly lose patience. One of them grabs Peter by the shoulder and shoves him. This is no place for some random kid. Get out. Peter doesn't move. Instead, he places his hand firmly on the man's arm and calmly replies, "Listen carefully, young man. I'm exactly where I need to be." Then he gives a simple order. "Take me to Octoman." The two henchmen glance at each other. One of them smirks. So this guy is in the business too. But if he's a rival assassin, he's not leaving this place alive. Without warning, one of them throws a punch at Peter's face. But something strange happens. The man freezes. Because Peter has already caught his fist, bare-handed. The henchmen stare in shock. He didn't even use a weapon, just his bare hand. The attacker's thoughts race. "You're telling me this guy is the legendary Peter?" Peter answers calmly. "Yes, I am." Then he tightens his grip. Bones snap. The man screams as Peter crushes his fist. But before the fight can end, the second attacker lunges forward with a knife. Peter moves instantly, a blur of strikes. The knife drops to the floor. The attacker stumbles backward. The first henchman grabs the fallen knife with his ruined hand. Rage fills his eyes. "Who the hell are you?" Peter watches them calmly, then begins explaining. "In our world, fighters are divided into classes. Those who can only use bladed weapons are third class. Those who can use many weapons are second class. But First-class assassins are different because they can turn anything into a weapon. Peter reaches into the boiling pot beside him and pulls something out, an octopus tentacle. The henchmen stare in disbelief, but before they can react, Peter snaps the tentacle like a whip. The knife flies out of the attacker's hand. The tentacle wraps around his neck. The man begins choking instantly. Peter spins him through the kitchen, crashing him into shelves, tables, everything around them. Then in one final motion, Peter flips him upside down and slams him headfirst into the boiling pot. The room erupts in chaos. Stew splashes everywhere. Smoke rises toward the ceiling vents. Moments later, the kitchen falls silent. One henchman lies bleeding on the floor. The other twitches weakly, barely conscious. He stares at Peter in terror. "Who are you?" Peter ignores the question. Instead, he picks up something from the floor. The photograph. The only picture ever taken of him. The image of the old Peter. The face with a 7,000,000,001 bounty. Peter studies the photo quietly. 7,600,000,001. Thousands of people are after your blood. Peter slowly smiles. So this is the only evidence of my face. For decades, Peter was the greatest assassin in the business. Anyone who wants to hunt him can try. But there is one problem. The old Peter is already dead. Peter lights a cigarette, then presses the burning tip against the photograph. The image slowly burns to ash when the last piece disappears. Peter drops the ashes to the floor and quietly says the words that signal his return. Peter is back in action.